So today's technique that I want to talk about is from comedy. Don't muddy the funny. Now, when I was a kid, my mother and my brother always said, "Oh, Lauren, you're not funny." And I think it's because I was funny that they didn't want me to upstage them, right? So they just said, "Oh, you're not funny." So I started to think that I wasn't funny. And now I've created these 10 tools of intentional comedy, and I think I can make anybody funny. And I really think comedy is about a recipe and following these tools. And one of them is don't muddy the funny. So maybe you've done all your work on your scene, you've worked and you've done all and you've worked on the comedy, you've worked on all your techniques, and you're like, why is this not working? It could be one simple, well, sort of three simple things, but if you might be muddying the funny. And the way that you muddy the funny, I had a student make this really clear today. Clear is the word we're looking at. He said, "Oh, muddy." So if I'm looking into a pond of water, it's muddy, I can't see through. It's not clear. And so if it's not muddy, if I don't muddy it, then that means that pond and that water is perfectly clear. Clarity is what makes comedy work, all right? So one of the ways that we muddy it is if the conflict is just kind of, not really a strong conflict, it's just kind of, I don't really want him to do this, but he's doing it anyway. And then, so conflict unclear or intention. What do you need the other person to do or say? If I don't have something really specific that I need the other person to do or say, I'm not fighting really clearly for that, it can be muddy. And the third one, which is really a big one, is stakes. If the stakes aren't high, it will feel muddy and it won't be funny. So watch your comedy shows, and I want you to pay attention. When that person, like Friends is the greatest example, is if I watch one of the characters, like Phoebe or something, and she's talking to another character, does she have a strong intention? Does she want them to do? Phoebe might not be the best example. But the Jennifer Aniston character, what's her name? Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. So when Rachel wants Ross to do something, she's very clear and very specific. And the more clear and specific it is, the funnier it is. The more something's at stake. Oh, I need him to do this. The stakes are higher, the funnier it will be. And if the conflict between the two characters are clearer, it will also be funnier. So that's your technique today. Don't muddy the funny. And so if you're doing a scene and it feels kind of like, why isn't this working? Go back, look at your conflict, make your conflict very strong. I want you to do this and you don't want to do it. Make your intention strong. I need you to do this specific thing and I'm going to fight to make sure I get it, and make sure your stakes are high. Good luck. Hey, leave me a comment below. Let me know how this works for you. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.